battle was between dietary fat on the one side and dietary sugar on the other side. And we ended up betting on the wrong horse. We thought dietary fat was the problem. We thought it was about meat and eggs and milk. We thought that was the problem.
It is the problem.
It wasn't. We removed the saturated fat from our diets. But then the food was so tasteless that the food industry had to do something to make the food palatable. What'd they do? Dumped in more sugar to process food to make it taste good. And that was bad. Now, of course, sugar makes food taste sweet. And it also makes food last
So does
longer.
applesauce and cinnamon, which is good for you.
That's great if you're selling food, but not if you're eating it. Sugar's hazardous to your health in the amounts and the doses that we...
Especially artificial sweeteners.
Because of the way our bodies turn it into energy and
Kidney
because
damage.
of how it gets stored
Splenda.
as fat, in particular liver fat. So what happened when we cut out the dietary fat? Our waistlines grew. Now, the U.S. Department of Agriculture tracks what we eat, and protein intakes remained remarkably steady. So what went up? As a percent of total intake, it was about carbohydrate, and it went straight up, and in particular, sugar. In the last 60 years, we have almost doubled the amount of sugar that we consume. Let's take a look at total sugar consumption. In the early 1950s, this was how much we consumed, about 45 pounds per year. So imagine 9 5-pound bags of sugar. Today, each of us eats 90 pounds of sugar per year, twice as much. So if you have a family of 4, that means that every month, it's like you're bringing home 6 of those bags of sugar to feed your family. Now, you would never do that willingly. So where's all that sugar coming from? Well, about 1/3 of it is in soft drinks, as you'd expect. About 1/6 of it is in desserts. But that means that a full half of the sugar that you and I are consuming are in things you didn't even know had it, like condiments like ketchup and other high-carb foods and other types of processed food. Now, sometimes sugar's hiding in plain sight, easy to find. But it doesn't always say sugar on the ingredients. It has other names. Now, of course, you've all heard of high fructose corn syrup, and today it can even be called corn sugar. We need to know the other code names that the food industry uses for processed sugars. And there are 56 of them.
What? 56?
56. Let's look at some of the food labels and check out.
Hey, Mom!
Let's take a look here. On the left is a frozen breakfast pastry that you know. One of the ingredients says sugar, but look at the others. There's a total of 7 different sugar ingredients there. Wouldn't it be helpful to learn some of those names for sugar, like high fructose corn syrup, maltodextrin, apple puree, dextrose, strawberry puree, corn syrup solids? That's on purpose.
Maple syrup are probably the
here on the
best
right
for
is
you.
another example. This label's from a brand of barbecue potato chips. Potato chips here, okay? They're baked. So the package says 65% less fat. Hey, fantastic, right? No, look what you get instead. 5 types of sugar. And these are potato chips. One of the reasons we've gotten into this mess is because sugar and refined carbohydrates actually cost less than fat or protein. So it actually pays for the industry to substitute them. So when we added the sugar, food costs went down. But metabolic diseases went up. And they're breaking the bank of every developed and developing country all around the world. So why is this happening? Why are we and our kids getting so sick? Well, in order to understand it, we have to see the science of sugar. Sugar is a substance that's both a carbohydrate and a fat at the same time because of the way it's processed by the body, not because of what's in it, but because of what happens to it. Sugar is half glucose and half fructose. Glucose is the 6-membered ring here on the left. Glucose is the energy of life. Every cell on the planet burns glucose for energy. Glucose is so important that if you don't eat it, your liver will make it. Now, that doesn't make glucose good. The more you eat, the higher your insulin goes up, and that's bad because the insulin will store energy in fat cells and will drive weight gain. More insulin, more fat. True. But the glucose calories are not the same as the fructose calories. That fructose, that five-membered ring, is particularly bad. That's the sweet molecule. That's the one we crave so much. And fructose presents a completely different problem. Because, remember, every cell in the body can use glucose. Only the liver can metabolize fructose. And when the liver is overwhelmed by too much, the liver has no choice but to turn the extra energy into liver fat. And remember, liver fat is at the heart of chronic metabolic disease. We are always told, you are what you eat. Not true. You are what your body does with what you eat. So what's going on inside? That's what matters. What does sugar do inside our bodies? Sugar makes our hormones go haywire. So it's important to understand hormones, what they are, and how they can either keep us healthy or make us sick, like diabetes. So let's explore our hormones in detail. What is a hormone? A hormone is a chemical that's made in one place in the body but works somewhere else. Hormones regulate various organs and systems inside our bodies. They cause growth. They cause puberty. Hormones are the master controllers of whether we burn energy or store it. So you've all heard of raging hormones, right, in teenagers, yeah? But you know what? You get raging hormones when you digest food, too. The body makes dozens of these chemicals, but let's focus on the four that play the most important roles when we eat. So first we're going to cover the two short-term meal-to-meal hormones that either make you hungry or make you stop eating, called satiety. So ghrelin comes from your stomach. It's the hunger hormone. So when your stomach's empty, ghrelin goes up, goes to your brain, tells your brain, hey, I'm hungry, feed me. You eat, stomach is filled, and ghrelin goes down. That's the end of the meal, right? Wrong. There's the mistake. The urge to eat will continue even after your stomach is full. You keep eating. How come? Well, ghrelin tells the brain you're hungry. But lowering ghrelin does not send the signal that you're full. Your stomach's full, but you don't realize that you're full until much later.